Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I really like the sort of feet as the fly in the ointment, the feet as the like the itch that won't go away, that sort of wakes him up to the reality of his situation. And you're pointing to, when you're present in the moment and there is no residue, there is no thing, like you're fully present to your experience in a way that you're actually remembering it, and all of it is including whatever memories might be coming up, because those are in the present moment too, but you're present to
Yeah.
all of that. Like there is nothing, there is no fly in the ointment, there is no thing that wants your attention, because everything that's happening already has your attention and you're not blocking any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being like that, I mean, being in some way enlightened, isn't that a way, if you can bring yourself into that kind of consciousness, aren't you pretty peaceful and able to connect with the world outside your body and other people and other minds in a pretty fruitful way, and to serve others?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think of it kind of in a like backwards kind of a way, maybe. So like to try and explain that, like naturally, I mean, I guess maybe this gets into Rousseau. I don't know, you'll have to tell me, but like naturally, all of these things where we can feel the other person, where we know what's going on, like that's already happening
Mm,
in our
yeah.
nervous system somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, and then at some point we start building these layers or these buffers or these protective things. We're like, oh, we don't want to see this part of reality. We don't want to see that part, you know. Um, and then we sort of get to a point where we're like, oh, like, wow, there's things I don't see. I don't know what's going on, kind of forgetting that we have blocked these other elements because maybe they happen
Mm,
when we're very young, or
mm,
who knows, any whatever reason, maybe ancestrally something what comes
mm.
down the line, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about, this sort of enlightened kind of a thing, I think of it as like almost like if we exist as this sort of, I don't know, I think of it as sort of like a crystalline structure, you
Mm,
know. And at the core of it, like it's very clear. It's very
mm,
pure, clear. It is what it is. It's just sort of, you can also use like a water metaphor, like it's a spring, like there's something bubbling up there.
mm,
There's a coming through ness. And if we can just rest in that, that's sort of what you're talking about as enlightened. Like we're able to connect with people, we're able to just be more joyful in the world, we're less caught up in
mm,
things needing to be a certain way, or getting caught up in these sort of obsessive thoughts or these sort
mm,
of troubling emotions. Like those are all, maybe the seeds of those are there, but they don't grow, they don't pull us out of this sort of central, clear, bubbling crystal spring metaphor that I'm struggling to build. But then, as things complicate our lives, or as we decide, oh, well, I can't relate to this part of myself because there's no room for it, whatever
mm,
that part might be. My anger, my vulnerability, my sexuality, my desire to be creative, my desire to be smart. If people are like, oh, look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants, thinks he knows everything, like you might shame yourself into being, less, coming across as less smart than you are. All of those things are like, you've already got a thing that's real, and you're saying it can't exist. So now you've got a conflict inside yourself,
mm,
and that's uncomfortable. And it's always going to be uncomfortable because you're at a conflict with yourself, and you have to create some sort of a rule or a structure for yourself about how to deal with that. Maybe it
mm,
gets projected onto other people. No, I hate those people. They always do this thing.
mm,
They do this thing that if I were to pay attention to what they were doing, it would remind me that
mm,
that thing exists in me. And
mm,
wow, I wish I did, that thing didn't exist in me, but I also wish it did exist in me. I
mm,
wish I could just be wild and crazy like they can be,
mm,
but I can't and they can't, and they remind me of it, and I hate them for it. And they should all
mm,
be locked up because they're crazy people, you
mm,
know? So all of those things kind of build these layers outside of this sort of pure initial core.
mm,
And when you and I as adults get to a point where we're like, hey, like what's life about and what's my personality about, which I would say on average, like the brain fully forms when you're 26. So you could go as far as to say, up until you're 26, these things are still not making sense. But
mm,
at that point, you're sort of locked into whatever structure you have built around this initial sort of clear spring, and you have to kind of dismantle it. And you have to kind of, I don't know how, I can't, there's no formula for how to do that, But the enlightenment element that you're talking about, that we're all looking for, is like it's a retracting back into that initial
Mm,
channel and not needing to be caught up defensively in all of these additional structures that we built. And
mm,
so like I forget how that ties into the story. That was a lot to kind of try and hold, but the idea being that I think it even says in the Tao Te Ching something like when you're studying knowledge every day, you add more information. And when you're studying the Tao every day, you drop something, you leave something behind, you drop something off, you get rid of something.
mm.
I think I mean, I'm not trained in any sort of Taoist lineage, but I imagine that talking about something like that, I'm sort of returning to an initial thing that already exists and is already there, but we forget. And then we try